joining me here. Welcome to Headbangers Ball, you guys. How are you doing?
Good.
Good.
Fine, wonderful. Feeling good.
Now there's a lot to talk about with Danzig, obviously the new album, new tour, and got to start at the beginning really. And my first question is, you had a little bit of a drummer dilemma after the recording of the 4 album. So could you explain why you parted company with Chuck Biscuits?
It's pretty simple. Chuck had a lot of personal problems and just didn't want to remain in the band. Eventually he quit the band. Then he wanted to rejoin, and we couldn't work out the problems we had with him also. Right. And we just got another drummer. It was as simple as that.
But he has been in the band since the beginning, back in 1988, the first lineup change for Danzig. So how unsettling was it, just even on a personal level, that he was a friend?
Joey kind of stepped right in just like we had planned, you know. We all thought that we'd get somebody and we wouldn't break stride, and we pretty much did that, so there hasn't been much of an adjustment. Personally, you know, we're still friends with Chuck. We still care about him and stuff, but, you know, he's just not in the band anymore, you know. But we got lucky with Joey, so. Yeah.
This is Joey Castillo, who used to be in Sugartooth, right?
Yeah, and before that, he used to be in punk bands, like Wasted Youth and some. Eeire and I are both from punk history,
yes,
so I get along with him really well. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's a great guy.
We have a lot in common. Most of the bands I hate, he hates. You know, so it's really
similar styles, you know.
And most of the bands we like are pretty similar. So it's pretty easy. It couldn't be better, actually. And he's a nice guy. He without slagging Chuck, I mean, he doesn't really have any personal. You know, he's just like a nice, normal, easy
well-adjusted for a drummer, you know. It's very rare. I think we might have found one of the rare, well-adjusted ones.
I don't know what it is with drummers, but just bands just traditionally don't really have good luck with drummers. I mean, I think in Sam Hain we went through like 2 or 3, and Misfits we had about 7. So I mean,
always like that. You know, everybody's got the same story about some drummer or something. You know?
Slayer's on about 3 or 4 now.
Right,
so yeah,
they've got a new drummer. I was just talking to them a few weeks ago, actually. I mean, just going back to Chuck, though, the thing about Chuck that I always felt was that he was a very flamboyant person. He had a lot of presence on stage. Were you at all concerned that you were going to lose that side of it?
No, because actually people tell us Joey looks a lot better in the band, so.
You fit right in.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going into the video for Mother very shortly, and I'd just like to sort of backtrack a little bit before we start talking about the 4 album. Obviously, you wrote that song back in 1988, and...
87.
So
before the album came out. A lot of people think just when the album comes out, that's when you wrote the song. No, you wrote it before.
Okay, but it's taken a number of years for that song to be a success, as it was for you, Off Thrall, Demon Sweat Live. So what factors do you think finally contributed to that song being a success?
I've heard so many different things. Maybe that this band just stayed together long enough for people to catch up. A lot of people are scared of us, so that doesn't help. So maybe this time around they weren't so scared, or you know, whatever it is. I have no idea.
Do you think maybe that song was a little bit ahead of its time?
I guess it could, you know.
And of course you also had the fantastic live video to go with it as well, which I think drew a lot of attention to it.
Yeah, that's a really funny story, because I was recording all the shows. Even when we were back in Europe that time we did that interview, I was recording all the shows and filming them, and then I wanted to film Irvine on Halloween, and they didn't even want us to do any of that filming, and it ended up being the video. So
well, it's a fantastic video, and we're going to show it to you right now. This is Mother 90s style.